If you're a garlic lover, get ready to embark on a flavorful journey that celebrates the bold, aromatic essence of garlic in every bite. Imagine the sizzle of a juicy steak, perfectly seared and infused with the rich, savory notes of roasted garlic, paired with golden, crispy potatoes that have soaked up all the delicious flavors from the pan. This easy steak and potatoes recipe is crafted for those who crave the comforting embrace of hearty food with a garlicky kick. Whether you're looking for a satisfying weeknight dinner or an impressive dish for a special occasion, this recipe brings together classic flavors in a way that's both simple and sensational. Let's start by choosing the right cut of steak. For a dish like this, you want something that cooks quickly and remains tender and juicy, like a ribeye, New York strip, or sirloin. Each cut brings its own character, but what unites them in this recipe is the transformative power of garlic. The garlic isn't just an afterthought, it's the star of the show, woven into every step from the marinade to the finishing touches. Begin by preparing the garlic. You'll want a generous amount. Think at least 6 to 8 large cloves, though true garlic enthusiasts might double this number. Peel the cloves and mince them finely, or for a sweeter, milder flavor, try roasting a whole bulb until the cloves are soft and golden. Roasting garlic mellows its sharpness and coaxes out its natural sweetness, creating a spreadable, buttery texture that can be whisked into sauces or mashed directly onto the steak. For the marinade, combine your minced or roasted garlic with olive oil, a touch of soy sauce for depth, a splash of Worcestershire sauce for umami, and freshly ground black pepper. Add a pinch of salt, but go light for now. The steak will get a final seasoning just before it hits the pan. Whisk everything together until it forms a fragrant, slightly thick paste. Place your steak in a shallow dish or a zip-top bag and pour the marinade over, making sure each side is well coated. Allow the steak to marinate for at least 30 minutes, though if you can wait, a couple of hours in the refrigerator will let the flavors meld even more. While the steak soaks up the garlicky goodness, turn your attention to the potatoes. Choose small Yukon Gold or baby red potatoes for their creamy texture and ability to crisp up beautifully. Wash and dry them thoroughly, then slice them into halves or quarters, depending on their size. In a large bowl, toss the potatoes with olive oil, more minced garlic, a sprinkle of rosemary or thyme, salt and pepper. The fresh herbs complement the garlic and add a subtle earthiness that pairs perfectly with both the steak and potatoes. To cook the potatoes, preheat your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Spread the seasoned potatoes in a single layer on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper or foil for easy cleanup. Roast them for about 20 to 25 minutes, turning once halfway through until they're golden, crispy on the outside, and fork tender inside. As they roast, the garlic will become caramelized and fragrant, infusing the potatoes with its signature flavor. Now, let's return to the steak. Remove it from the marinade and pat it dry with paper towels. This step is crucial for achieving a beautiful crust during searing. Season both sides generously with salt and a bit more black pepper. Heat a heavy skillet, preferably cast iron, over high heat until it's almost smoking. Add a tablespoon of olive oil or a mix of oil and butter for extra richness. When the oil shimmers, carefully lay the steak in the pan, listening for that satisfying sizzle. Sear the steak without moving it for 2 to 3 minutes on one side, allowing a deep brown crust to form. Flip the steak and add a few additional cloves of smashed garlic and a couple of sprigs of fresh thyme or rosemary to the pan. As the steak finishes cooking, use a spoon to baste it with the garlicky, herbed butter that forms. This not only adds flavor, but also keeps the steak juicy and moist. Depending on the thickness of your steak and your desired doneness, it may need another 2 to 4 minutes. For a perfect medium rare, aim for an internal temperature of 130 to 135 degrees Fahrenheit. Once the steak is cooked to your liking, transfer it to a cutting board and tent it loosely with foil. Let it rest for 5 to 10 minutes. This allows the juices to redistribute and ensures every bite is tender and flavorful. While the steak rests, check on your potatoes. They should be golden and ready to come out of the oven. For an extra burst of garlic, consider making a quick garlic butter to serve over the steak and potatoes. In a small saucepan, Melt a few tablespoons of unsalted butter and stir in more minced or roasted garlic, a pinch of flaky sea salt, and a handful of freshly chopped parsley. Simmer gently for a minute or two until the garlic is fragrant but not browned. This simple sauce elevates the dish and ties everything together with a final flourish of garlicky decadence. To plate, slice the steak against the grain into thick, juicy strips and arrange them alongside a generous helping of roasted potatoes. Drizzle the warm garlic butter over the top, letting it cascade down the slices of steak and pool around the crispy potatoes. Garnish with a sprinkle of fresh herbs and, if you're feeling adventurous, a few thin slivers of raw garlic for an extra punch. The first bite is a revelation, a perfect balance of savory, juicy steak, crispy-edged potatoes, and the unmistakable aroma of garlic in every mouthful. The roasted garlic brings a mellow, almost sweet undertone, while the fresh garlic in the butter and marinade delivers that bold, zesty kick that garlic aficionados crave. But the beauty of this recipe isn't just in its flavor. It's in the simplicity and versatility of the preparation. You can easily adapt it to your preferences, swap in sweet potatoes for a different twist, add vegetables like green beans or asparagus to the roasting pan, or experiment with different herbs and spices to create your own signature version. The basic framework, a garlicky marinade, perfectly cooked steak, and crispy potatoes, remains endlessly customizable. For those who want to turn up the garlic factor even more, try serving the dish with a side of homemade garlic aioli or a creamy garlic sauce. Simply blend together mayonnaise, roasted garlic, lemon juice, and a touch of Dijon mustard for a dip that takes both the steak and potatoes to the next level. Or, for a more rustic approach, serve whole roasted garlic bulbs on the side, allowing each person to squeeze out the soft, caramelized cloves and spread them over their steak and potatoes as they wish. This meal is more than just food. It's an experience that brings people together. The mouth-watering aroma of garlic wafting from the kitchen, the satisfying sizzle of steak in the pan, the golden potatoes emerging from the oven. It all combines to create a sense of warmth and comfort that's meant to be shared. Whether you're cooking for family, friends, or simply treating yourself, this easy steak and potatoes recipe is sure to become a favorite in your repertoire. As you savor each bite, remember that cooking is an act of creativity and love. Don't be afraid to make the recipe your own, adding a bit more garlic here, a dash of spice there, or trying new accompaniments. The beauty of garlic is that it can be as bold or as subtle as you like, adapting to your taste and making every meal uniquely yours. So, to all the garlic lovers out there, rejoice! This easy steak and potatoes recipe is your invitation to indulge in the flavors you crave, celebrate the humble garlic clove in all its glory, and enjoy a meal that's as satisfying as it is simple. With a few basic ingredients and a love for bold flavors, you can transform an ordinary dinner into a garlicky feast to remember.